Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Trooping the color. I'm telling you, nobody does pomp and pageantry like the Brits do. Just saying. We have a lot to cover today, so let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start out this morning with Princess Beatrice, who actually was pushing her daughter in a park in London on Tuesday. Now, we're aware that there is a heat wave, so she got thirsty, so she leans over, grabs her daughter's bottle, and starts drinking some water, which I find kind of odd. Why wouldn't she have her own water bottle? Weird. Anyway, love the dress that she was wearing. The article said that was just, initially it said it was just a friend. That's either a bodyguard or a nanny, because nobody else would be digging in the bottom of the carriage for whatever is, going on. The night before, she had been at a business event at a social club. She looked lovely. I guess she didn't have too much to drink the night before. Looking good there, Beatrice. I love that. She so looks like Queen Victoria. All right, moving on. All right, we're going to jump right into Harry and Meghan today. It's coming out that they're literally going to crumble. Their entire thing is crumbling because any future projects are going to be set for failure. Listen, they signed big deals, but they couldn't deliver on the goods. They just couldn't. They have no experience as podcasters. Spotify should have known better. They have no experience making shows. Netflix should have known better. Nobody, and I mean nobody, especially in this economy, is going to give them a deal like that again. I mean, it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing and they blew it. So I told you already that now she wants to revive the TIG and try to make it into this thing that like Gwyneth Paltrow did with Goop. Problem is Gwyneth Paltrow put her heart, blood, and sweat and tears into that for years and years. And Meghan's whole thing, don't give it 5 minutes if you're not going to give it 5 years. But truth is, she doesn't give anything 5 years. So her followers are like, their original deal wasn't any good and they're walking away to do something else. And now it's coming out that, or it's being, rumored that they want to start their own platform. The truth is, any way you look at it, they're lazy. She thought that shaking hands and cutting ribbons was too hard. That she wants other people to do the work. And she just sits back and gets the accolades, and it's not working that way. Anyway, The Spectator put out an article which is really, let me tell you, harsh. To paraphrase, what it said was every episode was basically the same. Meghan would say something was bad, her guests would agree, then go on to say how awful the social patriarchal construct was. That was the reason that they even were allowed to rise to where they were. No dissenting voices allowed, no debate, nothing. In their own words, it became an exercise in privileged navel-gazing. Right. Moving on, Harry's bid to hire the UK police cost over £502,000, and apparently it's being reported he's going to try to overturn that verdict, and that's also going to cost over £500,000. And so it's costing the UK taxpayer over £1 million. Here's the thing. Don't worry, because the Home Office has said that if Harry loses, which he's already lost part of it, he'll probably lose the rest. If he loses, they're going to go after him for every penny of that money back. So it's going to cost Harry and Meghan a lot of money for this fight, which is kind of, pointless, in my opinion. Moving on, so predictable. Just like with the coronation where she was spotted out hiking, the day before, she was spotted out, and of course the pictures were released the day of Trooping the Color. She's so freaking predictable. She tried to take over, but guess what? It didn't work. So she's walking around having an intense conversation with somebody on the phone. Apparently she was going to have her hair done. Maybe her extensions needed changing out. Who knows? But of course, she's carrying a $5,400 Fendi bag. Now, she's merching the bag. It doesn't take a genius to see this one. You've never seen that bag before. You will never see that bag again because it was probably one of the freebies. So she'll wear it today and then she'll send it back. We know that this, first of all, the article also says she's makeup free. She's not makeup free. She's got that bronzer crap all over her face as usual. Now, does she look upset? Yeah. She was just called effing grifter along with her husband publicly by one of the top people at Spotify. Yeah. So people are saying, well, she didn't know that the camera was there. Crap. That's crap, because in several pictures, she's looking straight at the camera. So when she gets up to the car, she starts doing this posing thing. Let me pull my hair back. Let me go this way. Let me turn that way. Typical Meghan Markle. I mean, but we knew. I even said to my husband, watch this. Something's going to happen. And don't worry about them money-wise, because she's out having her extensions done. She's carrying a bag, so obviously she bought something. She's wearing hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry. So guys, don't worry about her. I completely agree with Marita Montessori. It's one thing to do a pap walk to make the headlines, but it's another thing to be in the headlines being called a grifter. Now, the stories are coming out. Meghan had no desire to be at Trooping the Color. They didn't want to be there. We all know that they didn't get an invitation. I have to agree with this person. First of all, Archetypes failed. 40 by 40 failed. Pearl was canceled. And so remember I showed you the other day that Harry was part of that speaking engagement thing? Well, so is Meghan. Well, look what it says at the very bottom. Member of the royal family. I mean, oh my God. Because that, guys, that's all she has. I'm a member of the royal family. I'm a member of the royal family. Look, I'm a humanitarian. I'm a member of the royal family. Yeah. Nobody's hired her either. But I agree completely with Sue Hansey here. How the mighty have fallen. Because when they first left the royal family, they were asking for $1 million a speech. Now they've dropped down to $100,000. But I don't think anybody's going to hire them for that either. All right, moving on. This is probably true. According to Neil Sean, Tyler Perry is extremely upset with Meghan and Harry, and their friendship is probably going down the toilet. Let's not forget in the Netflix documentary when Tyler Perry said, I've never had this kind of intrusion at my house. Nobody here has ever had this. I put up this, fence and it went through and they cut through the fence and I had to plant these trees. We've never seen this sort of thing happen before. Remember? Well, and of course now it's come out that they did that and they found them because Meghan's the one who tipped them off. So now apparently he's very upset and wanting to know why she did that because it's been proven that she did that. So their friendship is big time on the rocks. Tyler, you should have, come on. You should have seen that one. All right, this is the last article we're going to touch on before we talk about Trooping the Color. These are coming out. Oh, Harry and Meghan's removal of their HRH titles backfires on the king. No, it didn't backfire on the king. What should have happened was they should have had their Duke and Duchess titles removed from them when they left the royal family and everything else was stripped from them. That's what should have happened. He should have been Prince Harry, and if she wanted to call herself Princess Henry. She would never have been Princess Markle or Princess Meghan. The title would have been Princess Henry. That's what should have happened. But, that was the Queen's prerogative to leave them with the titles. So, but the truth is the Prince title could also be put into abeyance. He could be refused to use it. Not that he would listen, but okay, let's move on now. All right, here we go. Once again, Prince Louis, back to his antics, making faces, pointing, and he was absolutely the star of Trooping the Color again this year. He's really the one that everybody wants to see because of his age. Come on, guys. He's 5 years old. He definitely was an improvement over what we saw last time, but it's so hilarious, and you can make memes out of him. I love it. Yeah, you gotta love that kid. Could you just imagine what he's like at home? Love it. Anyway, we all noticed when he was walking that he was wearing red shorts again. Everybody else had on pants, but Louis had on shorts. Now, Apparently that is a thing in the UK that they wear shorts during public engagements until a certain age, but it's an etiquette thing. It's a very English thing, apparently. By the way, that man is Rob Dixon. He's the equerry to William and Catherine. That's who's walking with the kids. Obviously, when they're in the carriage, you can't tell he's wearing shorts, but okay. Moving on to Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She was wearing Diana's earrings, very nice. And she also was wearing this fabulous green dress. Now, the outfit is because she is, the head of the Irish Guards. Now, she's colonel of the Irish Guards. I told you she took that role from William last year when everybody, remember, shifted positions. The color looked amazing on her. The detail on the outfit looked amazing. A big, big thank you, as usual, to Remoulade Sauce. She put up two, whoever that is, put up two different things talking about the outfits. Even her hat. There was detail which matched her coat. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that just gets me. Gorgeous. Next up, Sophie, Secret Weapon Sophie. You guys know how much I love her. She was wearing a dress that cost 695 pounds. It was cream colored. She was in a coach with Princess Anne's husband, Timothy Lawrence. Even the hat was just absolutely gorgeous. I love her. Now, the hat, if you're interested to know, is by somebody called Jane Taylor, and she wore it originally in 2014. Yes, it is a rewear, as is the dress. Yep. Now, she also wore a gorgeous pendant. It's a G. Collins and Sons diamond set infinity pendant, and it was almost 5,000 pounds. It was a little bit expensive. Once again, a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce. You guys should follow Remoulade Sauce on Twitter. Great. All right, moving on. Next up, we have the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester. I really like seeing them out. Look fabulous, and they were in the carriage on the mall. All right, moving on. All right, here we go. King Charles at Trooping the Color was on horseback. So was Edward. So was Anne. So was William. So this was a parade like no other. There was pomp. There was pageantry. 1,500 soldiers, 300 horses, hundreds of musicians. And they went from Buckingham Palace to the Horse Guards Parade in St. James Park for the ceremony, which was watched by members of the royal family. Nobody has seen the monarch on horseback in almost 40 years. So Charles was followed by Prince William, who we know is, in the Welsh Guard. Then we have Princess Anne, who's the gold stick in waiting. You had Sophie. And then, the kids went into that area to watch from the top. We remember this area because that's where Harry and Meghan made sure that somebody got pictures of them playing around with Zara and Mike's children. People did not appreciate that at all. Let me just tell you that did not go well. Anyway, They got to that area and they did Trooping the Color. Now, Catherine and Camilla, because I want to make sure I say this right, pulled up in their carriage, got out, and went on to this podium area that you're seeing. And then, I believe that was William that Catherine was looking at there. And they stood there while everybody went through and did, whatever it is that they do. Lots of pomp. What did I tell you before? Nobody in the world does it like the Brits. You have no idea how much I wished I could have been there to see this. I mean, what a fabulous show of military for the UK. It was just fabulous. Love it. Now, when that was over, they got back in the carriages and they headed back towards Buckingham Palace. This is when apparently this was pretty cool. The kids were waving, the crowds, the cheering. When you watch it on TV, when you actually see what's going on, you wonder the kind of reception they're going to get. But I did not hear anywhere one boo. Not one. I mean, everybody loved them. The crowds were amazing. You know, it's pretty obvious that the Brits got it. They're so patriotic. They love their king and they love the royal family. Yep, there you go. Anyway, like I said, crowds lined up on the side, 5, 6, 7 lines deep as they were going down the mall. Now, the drum horses, Apollo and Juno, that had the solid silver drums were there. Remember, this is Juno's first time doing this. You know, I read a story that they had to help with the suspension of the carriage, and maybe this is why Catherine always faces forward, because the last time she rode in the carriage at Trooping the Color, she got sick, like seasick, motion sickness, because the carriage, they're reporting, was swaying back and forth. So I've noticed that she never rides backwards. She always rides facing forward. Yeah. So on the balcony, you had Sir Tim Lawrence, you had Princess Anne, you had William, Catherine, and their 3 children, King Charles, Queen Camilla, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, the Duke of Kent, and the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester. Princess Alexandra, who is a working royal, was not there. So who was missing? Harry, Meghan, Andrew, and Beatrice and Eugenie. I would have liked to have seen them there. Well, this was interesting. A good shot that shows who was on the second balcony. I must be blind. I never even knew there was a second balcony. Now, while they're out on the balcony, they had the fly pass. Now, there were 70 aircraft total involved in this, and they were from the Royal Navy and the British Army and the Royal Air Force. Amazing. Again, beautiful, lots of crowds. Everybody looked happy. And of course, again, Louis was the star of the show. Personally, I think not inviting Harry and Meghan was absolutely the correct thing to do. Everything went smoothly, and it's pretty obvious at this point that they don't trust Harry and Meghan anymore. They don't give them any communication. They don't talk to them in any way, and that's why there's been no more drama. The second they let them back in, it's going to start up again. You know, they said they have nothing left to say. Well, that would be because they haven't been given it the chance to garner information. All right, you guys, once again, I have to end with Christopher Bouzy. So again, he put up an announcement that his Things Spoutable now had an Android app available on the Play Store. And this young lady took a second to look and see what data he collects on you. Shocking. They want your name, your email address. I mean, read it. I certainly wouldn't give that information to anybody, much less Christopher Bouzy. I mean, could you imagine? They want to know your phone, your ID number. He can hack into phones just as easily as he can hack into other people's computers. Remember what this guy does. But even more shocking is, remember, this man is the CEO, a professional man, right? And this is the stuff that he's putting up on Twitter. I don't think anybody is surprised. I'm certainly not. I've seen him write this kind of stuff to Nikki Haley, to Piers Morgan. He says the exact same, he's a one-trick pony. He says the exact same thing over and over and over again. But this is not what professional people do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. All right, you guys, you know what I want. Write those comments down, make them good. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you've already hit the subscribe button, double check, make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget you can find links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, and my physical address, just in case you need to send something, in the description box. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, have a great day.